guys, I am just realizing that I set this camera up a little low, but that's all right. I wanted to pop on and do a quick homemade heat protection spray for you. So what I have is I have some hot water. This is hot distilled water. I'm still working on that same pack of 600 ml bottles that I bought a couple months ago for 2 pounds. And I have just a wee cup of water to rinse my tablespoon measure off with. I've got a funnel, a spray bottle, and the nozzle to go with that. And then I have some avocado oil. I did some research on this, and oils have different, what was the term? Smoke, I don't think it was the term, but like smoke temperatures, which is you don't want your hair smoking while you are like blow drying it or straightening it or whatever. And avocado has a very, very, very high smoke temperature. And so that is why I picked that. I have some aloe vera gel. And so we'll be putting that in this. This is just really good for your hair. And then I, of course, have some essential oils, and I'll go over, we're just going to use one. I've got 4 here. I have geranium, lavender, peppermint, and rosemary. And we're just going to pick the one that we want, and so I'll go over which one you want for that. So I'm going to put all of this in a glass and then just pour some into here because the recipe called for a cup of water, and obviously I can't fit a cup in here, so I'm gonna make a few of these. So I have a cup of water here, and this is in a kettle because it needed to be hot water. And this is just that distilled water. I measured out a cup and then put it in the kettle. You could also just heat it on the stove or even in the microwave. And if you guys can see, that's steaming a little bit. All right, and then we need 3 tablespoons of aloe vera gel. So actually first, I'm gonna think this through. First, I'm gonna do a tablespoon of cornstarch, or over here in the UK, we call it corn flour. So I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of that. And I'm just gonna put this in and kind of mix it around a little bit. And then I'm gonna rinse off I only have 1 tablespoon measure that I use for like my oil stuff. So I wanted to, you know, a really scientific way of getting water off, just fling it. So now I'm going to do, I really don't want water on this. So I've learned recently that water, oh, tissue, how handy. That water, when added to some things, decreases the shelf life. And so I don't want to stick my tablespoon measure, even if it's just going to have a little bit of water, into my aloe vera gel, because I don't want to decrease the shelf life of it in its tub or anything else that I put in it. So I've dried that off. So I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of aloe vera gel. I've never worked without aloe vera gel, but I have seen quite a few recipes that call for it. So I'm actually quite excited to be using it. So there's 1. 2. There we go. And 3. That probably leaves me enough aloe vera gel for a couple more recipes of this, but like I said, this is going to make quite a bit in it. So I'm just going to stir that around and let it get mixed up well. And then the last thing is a teaspoon of avocado oil. So I'm going to put that in. And then I'm going to talk to you guys. Ooh, I didn't take the seal off. talk to you guys about the essential oils we're gonna put in here. So I have 4, because there's 4, I kind of like, there's actually 3 types of hair, and then there's one option they gave that could just go for anybody. This is a half teaspoon. It's a half a tablespoon. All right, I'm gonna just do 2 half teaspoons. So I will do, oh, that is, yeah, the color of kind of the outside of an avocado. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's quite, there's 1, 2. And obviously this is water in a jug, and then I just put oil in so it is sitting on top. So I'm just gonna keep stirring this while I talk to you guys, because I want to make sure the aloe vera gets good and dissolves in here. So for dry, damaged, or color treated hair, you're going to put geranium in. And I'm trying to do the math with this before I popped on. You really could put a good bit of oil in if you wanted to, but I don't think that you really need a whole lot. You could probably put up to like 20 or 25 drops, or maybe even more than that if you really wanted to. I would probably recommend like 5 or 10. You just don't need a whole lot onto your hair. And it's, I mean, we already have a little bit of oil in here, but you don't want to add a whole lot more oil because it is not necessarily good for, especially hot ironing your hair, straightening your hair. So I would just do 5 or 10 drops, even in this large amount of water. So geranium is for dry, damaged, or color treated hair, and then rosemary is for oily hair. But rosemary is not an oil that you want to use in pregnancy. So if you are needing a heat protection spray in pregnancy, I would go with lavender, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Peppermint is for dry or thin hair. And again, not to use in pregnancy. So if you are pregnant, you're going to either go with the geranium or the lavender. And then lavender is for any hair type. So I am going to put lavender in because it is for any hair type. And I don't really have a whole lot of issues with my hair. I might have chosen geranium instead, but I'm going to tell you guys why I'm not doing that in just a second. So I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Some of these come out a lot faster than others, but thankfully lavender is not one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in this vial. I'm seeing that it's going to be a little more complicated than I thought. I'm going to have to make sure I keep it well stirred as I put it into other vials. But what I would like to do is any of you who would like, ooh, it's getting thick. Well, that's kind of cool. Any of you who would like me to send you one of these, anyone in the States, I guess you would have to purchase a premium starter kit. So anyone who purchases a premium starter kit from the States this month, before the end of October, I will send you some heat protection spray. And if you are here in the UK, if you place an order of 50 PV, which is just personal volume, 50 PV or more before the end of the month, then I will send you a heat protection spray or get it to you. So if you have any questions about that, or even about the heat protection spray, just let me know. There was one other thing I was going to say really quickly, and now I seem to have forgotten. Oh, when you do this, so I was reading about this, you don't want to spray this onto your hair and then take a straight iron to it. So the best way to do this is spray it into your damp hair and then blow dry it and then straighten it. Or if your hair is dry, just spray it onto your hair and then take a blow dryer to it really quickly, so that you don't have water or any of this directly onto your hair without blow drying it first and letting some of it evaporate. That's how you're going to want to use this. Let me know if you guys have any questions about the heat protection spray, any of these ingredients, or making a purchase with Young Living, and I'd be happy to help you with that. I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday.